You are not tired from helping people. You are tired from being the person who isn't allowed to need anything back. There is a specific kind of exhaustion no one names, the exhaustion of being useful. And by the end of this, you'll see why the people who carry everyone are the ones who quietly disappear. When did you first learn that being useful was the price of being loved? Most of us don't remember the moment. We remember the texture of it, the small body that learned to read a room before it learned to read a book, the ear tuned to the shift in a parent's breath, the instinct that says, if I can fix this, I get to stay. That child didn't develop a personality. They developed a function. Hyper-reliability is not a virtue you chose. It is a survival strategy you mistook for a self. And the strategy keeps working, which is exactly the problem. Why does the thought of not being needed feel like the thought of not being real? Modern life confused two things on purpose: worth and usefulness. They are not the same word. A river is not worth its irrigation. A person is not worth their output. But we live inside an economy that pays attention only to what produces, and we learn to do the same to ourselves. So you became someone's first call, the reliable one, the one who answers, the one who can. And every time someone said, I don't know what I'd do without you, a small invoice was stamped onto your spine. The tragedy isn't that they take from you. It's that you no longer know what's left when nothing is being asked of you. Have you ever sat in a quiet room and felt, instead of peace, a kind of vertigo? Clarice Lispector wrote about a woman who only existed when she was looked at. When no one was watching, she felt herself dissolve at the edges, as if the gaze of others had been holding her body together. This is the silent exhaustion of the useful person. You are not held together by who you are. You are held together by who needs you. And the moment no one needs anything, you don't rest. You panic, because rest for you feels like ceasing to exist. You learn to be a verb, and verbs cannot sit still. You are not addicted to helping. You are afraid of the silence where you would have to meet whoever you are when no one is asking for you. What part of you went missing while you were being so dependable? The cruelty of this trauma is how invisible it is. Nothing dramatic happens. You don't collapse. You don't leave. You just slowly empty out in a way no one around you can see, because the version of you they know is the version that brings the coffee, answers the message, holds the family together, finishes the project, says, of course, don't worry about it. The mule doesn't fall. The mule keeps walking, and one day the mule looks down and realizes it has carried so much for so long that it has forgotten the shape of its own back. You did not vanish because you were weak. You vanished because you were too useful to ever be allowed to exist as anything else. So when I said at the beginning that you are not tired from helping, now you know. You are tired from being the person who isn't allowed to need anything back. And that tiredness is not laziness. It is grief. The grief of a self that was traded very early for permission to be loved. None of this was your fault. The child who became useful to survive did exactly what was needed to survive, and you owe that child gratitude, not contempt. But you are not that child anymore, and the work now is not to stop helping. It is to learn, slowly, the most disorienting sentence the useful person can say: I exist even when no one needs me. Let that sentence be uncomfortable. Let it feel like vertigo. That vertigo is not collapse. It is the first room you've entered in years that was not built for someone else. Thank you for existing, and thank you for surviving this far with me.